Good Saturday morning, everybody. It's Arnie's Fantasy World of Sports. What a great show. I was listening to those guys on the last show. What a network we've got. And on a Saturday, boy, we got a lot to go over. I hope everyone's in the chat room ready to go. I've got to talk about Friday night. I've got to talk about players on the rise. I've got to talk about at least one superstar who may be out a little while. So let's get started. But before we do, here's a trivia question. On this date in history, May 11, 1996, something happened in Marlins fantasy history. Can anyone tell me what that is on this date in 1996? Let's talk about some games from last night. How about the Dodgers and the Nationals? Yeah, I mean, two teams going in opposite directions. Jock Peterson hits 2 home runs, his 11th and 12th of the year. Kenta Maeda, 6 shutout innings and 6 strikeouts. Julio Urias, yes, 3 innings, a second save of the year, and the Dodgers shut out the Nats 5-0. Not a good outing at all for Anibal Sanchez. How about the Cubs? Ugh. You know, what a series that promises to be in Chicago this weekend. The Cubs are throwing 3 left-handers on 3 consecutive days at the Brewers. I wonder if that's by coincidence, Christian Yelich. Just curious. But yesterday, the Brewers, well, it didn't seem to matter. Quintana looked pretty good, but Gio Gonzalez looked better. Gio went 5 2/3, struck out 3, and the Brewers, they put it on the Cubbies. The Little Bears lost 7-0. The Angels were in Baltimore last night, and the Angels, behind Mike Trout's 8th home run and 3 RBIs and 2 for 4 night, defeat the Orioles in Baltimore at Camden Yards 8-3. For the Orioles, Trey Mancini hit his 7th, and yes, Santa Claus, gift time, Chris Davis with a C, he hit his 4th for the Orioles in a losing cause. The Blue Jays defeated the White Sox 4-3, and in that game, Brian Giles got his 100th career save. Now, I don't know how many he's blown in his career, but I know he got his 100th career save last night. The Red Sox, whoosh, let's see. We used to call this bringing out the whooping sticks, okay? The Red Sox, 14, wow, 14 runs last night. Can you believe that? 14-1. And the stat line for the Red Sox, oh my gosh. I mean, just could fill out the page. Benintendi, 3 for 5. The Mariners only scored 1 run. Benintendi, 3 for 5, his 5th. Moreland, 2 for 4, his 11th. Bogarts, 2 for 5. And Rafael Devers, we're going to talk about him in a few minutes, as one of my hot stars last night. He went 3 for 5. The Mets, 11. The Marlins, 2. Here's another stat line page fill up for you. Conforto, 3 for 3. Rosario went 1 for 4, but the one was a big one. It was a grand slam. Cano, 2 for 4. McNeil, 2 for 3. And Davis, 3 for 5. I don't think Davis wants to go to the bench anytime soon, hitting 3 for 5 last night, right? The Twins, 6, and the Tigers, 0. Jake Odorizzi, has he not been on a roll? I mean, in fantasy, if you picked him up, is he out there? 7 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts, no walks, and the Twins, they got a doubleheader today, but the Twins, 6, the Tigers, 0. And, you know, don't be surprised if the Twins win all 4 this weekend. I'm telling you. The Astros, 3, Texas, 0. Verlander was, well, Verlander. Yeah, he was on fire last night, pitching 7 innings, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, only 1 hit allowed for the Astros. The Royals, 5, the Phillies, 1. The Pirates, 2, the Cardinals, 1. The Rockies, 12, the Padres, 2. The Reds beat the Giants 7-0 last night in San Francisco. Nick Senzel went 2 for 5. He had a 2-run triple. Castillo was pitching for the Reds. 6 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts. Wow. And the Braves beat the Diamondbacks 2-1. Peralta went 2 for 4 for Arizona, but it was Ronald Acuna hitting a bomb for the Braves. And Nick Swanson, also the shortstop, Swanson went 3 for 4 for Atlanta. Atlanta 2, Diamondbacks 1. Now, I don't know if you got to see the A's last night against Cleveland. But let me tell you, it was quite a game. So Matt Chapman hits a walk-off last night in Oakland in extra innings off Brad Hand. And I'm going to tell you, watching that pitch, watching that game, a great, exciting game. You know, the thing about West Coast games for us East Coast guys is they come on way too late, right? But last night the game goes extras. Hand's first pitch in the 12th inning, Chapman just hits a bomb into the left field stands. The pitch, I don't know what it was supposed to be, but it was right down the middle of the plate. And wow, what a hit and a walk-off win for the A's. And they need something to get them going, you know. And maybe last night, that'll do it. I saved this one for last in talking about last night's games. All right, Tropicana Field. That's the venue. The teams are the Tampa Bay Rays and the New York Yankees. I'll get to the final score in a minute, but the game was really in the 7th inning. The Rays had the bases loaded, no outs. Adam Ottavino for the Yankees is pitching. He can't find the strike zone. Okay, he is struggling with off-speed pitches. He's struggling with his fastball. And he's 3-2 on Tommy Pham. And he throws one of his frisbee sliders that finishes about a foot off of the plate. Tommy Pham's a right-handed batter. The slider finishes in the left-hander's batter's box, and Tommy Pham wails at it. 1 out, right? So after that, the next pitch, ball is hit, or next batter, Ji-Man Choi's up, Ottavino to Choi. Choi hits the ball up the middle. It glances off Ottavino's uniform, it looked like, okay, to the second base side. DJ LeMahieu picks the ball up, beats the runner to second, throws the ball to first. They turn a double play. Tampa Bay doesn't score in the 7th. Now, it was 4-3. What happened in the 6th inning? The Yankees were down 3-2, and Urshela, the third baseman, comes up with runners in scoring position, gets a single, 2 RBIs, the game-winning hit, the game-winning RBIs. Urshela filling in, of course, because the Yankees have so many injured players. He's hitting .375 this year, 9 for 24 with runners in scoring position. I love me some Urshela. Love him! I mean, he is just having a career year. He's a retread project the Yankees have picked up, doing a great job. Herman did not have his best stuff last night. He did strike out 5 in 5 innings. He has 5 consecutive wins. Chapman gets the save. Meadows got the final out. And after the game, Aaron Boone had this to say.
Things happened tonight. That was a really good ball game, you know, kind of both sides, and we made some huge plays there. DJ, I just watched it back. I actually just saw the replay for the first time, and yeah, I mean, to deflect there, to not, you got to hurry but not rush kind of deal, to turn that, you know, after Otto wiggles off and gets Pham, huge play in the game, obviously.
And so after that, well, you know, there's not much else to say except for
ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
So John Sterling calls it. The Yankees win. They pull to within a half a game of first place, Tampa, in the American League East. And that's sort of a wrap-up of some of the action from last night. What a Friday night. I can't wait for Saturday. How about you guys? If it's half as exciting as Friday night, I can't imagine what it'll be like when we get to Saturday's games. Let's talk about some star players last night in some of those games, if we will. Charlie Blackmon, he went 2 for 3 in that win in Denver last night. He had 2 walks and 3 runs scored in the 12-2 win against the Padres. You know, Blackmon was off to a slow start, and he's now hit safely in 8 straight games to begin the month of May. His slash line is now up to a 301 batting average, a 526 OPS. He's got 5 homers, 2 steals, 21 RBIs, and 26 runs through 36 games. Let's do that one again. 5 homers, 2 steals, 21 RBIs, and 26 runs through 36 games. He's hitting the top of that order at Coors Field. And for any doubters there may have been in Charlie Blackmon, let the doubters stop. He's back. There's some posting. All of the clips this morning came off of YouTube. They are shareable posts, and we're going to try to use those when we can, following all the rules and regulations that are in place. But thanks to YouTube for those clips from last night, and we're going to share them with you when we can. Trevor's story last night. Staying in Denver, Colorado, aren't I? Okay, Trevor's story. He has his doubters, doesn't he, Phil Chappie? Right? Okay. Story went 3 for 5. 2-run homer. He got the Rockies on the board in the 3rd inning with a blast off Eric Lauer. Eric Lauer is trash. Okay? It was Story's 9th of the year. He's hitting .278, 517 OPS through 38 games. So I just want to know, do you think Trevor Story continues, or do we revert back to the 2 years ago Trevor Story? So far, Story's putting up some great numbers, and no reason to think that he won't continue to do it, unless you can tell me something different. I was watching the Red Sox last night. I am not a Red Sox fan. Andrea Lamont is. I am not. Andrea, kudos last night. What a whipping they put on the Mariners, right? But last night I was watching Rafael Devers. And, for the first, 2-3 weeks, Devers wasn't doing much at all. I mean, he had made a lot of errors in the field, and it had carried over, in my opinion, to his bat. And he was just not Rafael Devers. Well, that's all changing. And if Rafael Devers can be bought low, can be picked up, now's a great time to do it. He had a home run in the right field stands in the 4th inning, and to watch him, it was like he just golfed it into the stands. It was a no-doubter off of Swanson, the right-hander for Seattle. He also tacked on an insurance run in the 8th on a double. He had 4 RBIs on the night. He has been 14 for 38 over the first 9 games in May. Okay? He also has 10 RBIs in the month of May to go along with that. So when you couple a .368 average with 10 RBIs through the first 9 games in May, Rafael Devers is a gotta have. Andre is annoyed at the Red Sox. Yeah, but I think Andre and they're only 4 games out, and they're over 500. And we also saw Chris Sale this week. He had 1 inning in the game against Baltimore where he pitched an immaculate inning. An immaculate inning. If you don't know what that is, and you should, but if you don't, here you go. He threw 9 pitches, and he got 3 strikeouts. That was it. And Sale looks like Chris Sale. Devers is coming around. Mookie Betts is hitting. Benintendi went 3 for 5. Look out, the Red Sox are coming back. A player that I traded for Chris Sale, okay? I traded Manny Machado for Chris Sale. Now, my theory on Machado is last year was a career year. That's my theory. He hadn't started so well this year. Well, last night he went 3 for 5 in Denver. I guess if you're going to hit, you better hit in Colorado, right? But he went 3 for 5. He has hit safely in 9 of his last 10 games. He's hit 4 home runs in the last 10 games. He's now hitting .250 on the year. I think those numbers are well below where the Padres wanted Manny Machado to be and want him to be. But at least it looks like, he's getting a fast start. He's getting a kick. And maybe Manny Machado now gets it going. How about last night in Houston? Okay, I told you about Verlander and his gym, but what I didn't tell you, I'm getting ready to now. Jose Altuve was removed from the game. And Aldamas Diaz came in to take his place. It was a hamstring injury. And I'm just concerned about how much time Altuve will actually miss with Houston. All right? Hamstrings are not something to play around with. We know Altuve